I'm going to take a few minutes to demonstrate where we are with our project that incorporates this display and keypad with the JNIOR. In another video, I show you how to connect this device to the JNIOR serially. And you should watch that because this runs on 5 volts. The JNIOR will usually power at 12 volts. So there's some accommodation for the voltage difference discussed in that video. Now, on JNIOR.com, I've been going through this project, developing the interface for this step at a time. And we've gotten to a certain point that I need to demonstrate, what we've got working. So I put the program on here and I have it set with a run key to actually start when we power this up. So let's see what happens. Okay, you can see some sort of splash screen came up. So let me zoom in on that so that we can look more at it. I don't know if you heard that, you got mail, but that's actually the boot message that comes from this JNIOR when it's powered on. Okay, so here we see the display and this HMI. And this is the splash screen that our program presents. Now this is being dynamically updated, which what I mean is that if we go to the actual unit, which is called remote, and here's the remote name, the host name. So if we come over here and we go to remote, bring up the DCP, in configuration under network, here's our host name. We can alter that to something like HMI test, for example. And if you watch over here, when I hit enter, it's dynamically updated. No big deal, but the software in the project discusses that. Now, similarly, we decided that from the splash screen, any keystroke here would bring us to a menu. So here we have a menu. There are some placeholders here for menu development. You can see that when we get to the end of the menu, it brings you back to the top. And similarly, if you go off the top, and it goes to the bottom. And the pointer that indicates the menu selection runs pretty much independently at the top of the menu, which is a nice, comfortable thing. So up until the last post on JNIOR.com, we had developed everything, including the clock screen here, that if I were to select clock by hitting the center button, we're showing the clock, and you can see dynamically how the screen is being updated. And the code is kind of fun because while this screen is being repainted, it knows that only update those characters there. So it's pretty efficient in the communications channel. And then from the clock screen, any key would bring us back to the main menu. Now, this morning I decided to do something more serious and create a relay output screen. I created the context for relay outputs and what we would display when you enter that. And it's basically another menu which shows each of the relays, and there are 8 relays on this Model 410. Okay, and the first relay has been renamed. I can show you that over on the DCP. If we go into configuration under labels, down here you can see that I've called that first relay main switch. Now, we could easily call it dispense, for example. And instead of enabled, we could have operating. Do it in uppercase. And off could be not. It's fine. All right. So you noticed here that we got an update when we changed the name. And this particular output, dispense output now, is set for pulse, whereas others are set for toggle. So that's an interesting feature. So this menu is set up over here so that when we pick a relay, say relay 3, and select it, it toggles the relay. Or we can select it again and toggle the relay off. Similarly, relay 4 or relay 3 and 4 could be on. This one is set for pulse, as we saw over on the DCP, and when we dispense, it's operating, and then it's off. 3 seconds. Like that. Okay, now the amount of time for that pulse is set on the configuration screen over here on outputs, and you can see it at 3 seconds. You can set this to the millisecond, and the default's 1000, which is 1 second. So we can change labels, we can change the output functionality, we can even display whether or not the output is even shown, or the usage meters for it. You can change the toggle pulse or not have any control capability whatsoever for a particular relay. And now it's dynamically updated in our little menu. So there you go. You can turn relay 2 on, and we can dispense 3 seconds worth of product. Any key from any other key from this menu, or we go back to the main menu, and of course you can go back to the splash screen. So it's a little demo of our HMI. Over on JNIOR.com, I've been going through this in detail, a step at a time. So, you know, if you're interested in the details, they're certainly there. And if you have any other ideas on what I could make this do, or would you like to see this do, I'm certainly looking for ways to demonstrate and work with the product. So you can post them there, ask questions, that kind of thing. All righty, thank you.